name is Amir Nair. I'm a leadership coach and an author. Today, I want to talk to you about turning failures into successes, right? So, when I was in school, I was an easygoing kid. My father had a good business going and I had a decent life. But as I grew up, I kind of meandered through my entire school life, and my biggest success, if I think about it, was that I had watched over 100 movies in my 11th grade with my friends. It was a great time with my friends, but I did not attend classes and I did not study. Newton's third law, for every action in nature there is an equal and opposite reaction, did very much apply to me and my life. So I scored extremely poorly, and by God's grace, I had passed my higher secondary exams. This was not a failure, this was a disaster and I made one. And it was inevitable because the only person who could not see it coming was myself. This was a wake-up call for me, and I really needed to get serious on my life, right? This was also a hard time for my father because his business was not really doing well. For the first time, I went out and started to understand what my strengths are and look for things I wanted to really do. And I concluded that I would like to go and finish my college in hospitality. I cracked the All India entrance examination and got into college, but the college fees was extremely high and my father's business had completely dried up by then. My uncle came to my rescue. He gave me part of the fees and gave me some money on a monthly basis for my rent and to stay. But it was a really, really difficult time for me because I just did not have any money with me. What my uncle gave me was, I had about 200 rupees per month for the entire month to live on, right? And I could not go back and ask him for more money. And for me, the 200 rupees would just, it was the first 10 days is what I would be able to scramble through with it, right? And the only thing that for my lunch was the college had covered that course fee, it was part of the course fee. So I was able to get lunch for 5 days. So I went out and did everything possible, like over the weekends, going to the restaurants, doing waiter's job, going to the kitchen, helping out, anything to have more than the money they gave, which was very paltry, but I had food that they would give, right? So I was really, really hungry almost every day of the 3 years that I studied my college. But I knew that I had made the decision to go out. I had made the decision to go and study the subject. So I had no ways to go back and say, I want to get back home. Right? So my goal became I had to crack the college. I had to crack through the whole entrance examination, the campus placement, and do whatever it takes to get into the best possible company. My parents had gone to a very difficult time now. They completely shut down. My father's business completely dried up. My sister was not able to even pay her college fees, and she was going to a government college, and she was not able to pay her fees. So I clearly knew that I had to step up. Right? I had to get this job. And I had to earn money so that I could help my parents and my family to get along, right? And the key thing was that, so in my head somewhere, I had kind of made up, I wanted to join the Oberois, right? And that was my ultimate goal. And the key thing was that Oberois were the best paymasters, this was one, but I also kind of groomed you very well for the future. So I kind of prepared and I kind of cracked the initial round of interviews, and then I went to Bangalore for their last two rounds of the interviews. And I even took a loan from my friend to bleach my face white so that I could be more presentable in the interviews. Such was my desperation. And the worst thing was that they took the first round of interview and rejected me. I was devastated. I had no clue how I traveled back from Bangalore to Toronto. I had no clue. But one thing when I reached college and I was devastated, I was really, really bad down, and my mentor told me that you have to learn from your failures. You have to move forward. You have the potential, but you have to learn and you have to move forward. You have to look for the next one, next opportunity. And he was right, because for me, I think that was what I had to do. And so I got myself together, and you might be, you can think about it. You might be in the same situation. You might be with your family, it might be with your relationship, it might be that you failed on something, but don't dwell on it, right? Life is not fair. Life is not going to be fair, and it's not fair for any of us. So you've got to get up, you've got to get your mindset into a positive space, and then move forward through that. Your thoughts you can create, and you can use your own thoughts to create the ability to turn the situation into which for a positive result for yourself. And in about a couple of months, I cracked the management program with Taj Group of Hotels. The stipend was 5,000 rupees for me. It was 1999. It was from 200, I moved to 5,000. There were only 2 people in the entire college who had cracked it that year, right? And I knew for myself, I'd change the momentum. I would never be hungry anymore. I would use whatever opportunity I got to kind of move forward. So there are times when you might just feel overwhelmed. You might wonder how you're going to go through it, right? It might seem that it's not possible. But find the courage to push through it. Because I know you're not a quitter. Never give up. Never give up on you. If you give up, you will never be able to find your purpose and shall never realize the true potential and live your life like a winner. The definition of persistence is to continue firmly in the course of action in spite of difficult circumstances. I have taken on more responsibility and led large teams across different organizations over my last 20 years. And I'm not telling you this because I want a pat on the back, but I want to tell you that I have since that day made thousands of mistakes. I have had so many failures, but every time I have learned lessons from each one of those failures, which has enabled me to become a better leader and a better person. So you must always learn from your failures. I want you to remember it's impossible to have a life of success without experiencing failure and losses. We are all going through them. Secondly, don't ever quit. Ever quit. You got brilliance within you. And the world deserves to see you and learn from you. From your failures, from your losses. And then you can guide them to their greatness. And finally, have fun and enjoy your life. Thank you so much for taking the time out and watching this video. Have a great day.